All right, hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Heroes Homeschool Academy. My name is Mr. Lan. I will be walking you through fourth grade science and technology today, week number 18. And today we're going to be talking about gravity, friction, and magnetism. Okay, so what is gravity? What is friction? What is magnetism? We're just going to try to understand those kind of concepts today. So let us study together. What is gravity? Gravity is described as a force that causes two objects to be attracted to each other. All right. This universal force attracts all objects to the center of the earth. Okay. So lots of times when you hear gravity, let's try to wipe this board clean in here. We just think of, well, gravitational force that pulls me down to the center of the earth, and that is correct. That's going to be what gravity is. But at a planetary level, any object, like the Earth, for example, which is revolving around our sun, has gravity between it and the sun. So there is a gravitational pull that our Earth experiences from the sun. Okay. And as you study, you're going to see there is another pool as well called the centripetal forces, and which kind of tries to balance the forces between gravity between the Earth and the Sun. So just know that. So gravity is going to be the force that causes two objects to be attracted to each other. Okay, and gravity gives weight to physical objects on the Earth. So lots of times when you jump on the scale and you say, how much do you weigh? You say, well, I weigh 60 kilograms. Well, that's really not your weight. That is your mass. But then when you couple the acceleration due to gravity together with the mass, then you have a weight. Well, what's making you have a weight is this acceleration due to gravity, which is actually your force, which we calculated a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so that's a little bit about gravity. What about friction? Well, friction is when one object moves against another object. There is a resistance to that movement. That resistance is called friction. So, for example, if you're trying to walk on a slippery floor, well, there is not a lot of friction on that floor because the floor is wet. And if you were to fall, then you're going to say, well, that floor doesn't have a lot of friction to it. But if the floor is completely dry, you can walk on it. Well, there's not going to be any fall. Why? Because there is a resistance to falling. Okay, so that's what friction is. It is a resistance to movement. All right. What about magnetism? Magnetism is an attribute of an object that makes it attract or repel another object. All right, I'm sure you've seen a magnet before. Maybe there's a magnet on your refrigerator right now. So there are two critical things to learn about magnets. Magnets have the north and the south poles. Two similar poles are called like poles, and they will repel each other. And while poles that are not alike are called unlike poles. Okay, unlike poles, and unlike poles attract each other. So for example, if you were to have a U-shaped magnet in here, which has a north pole here and a south pole in here, and then you have another magnet which is like a U-shaped as well. It's like an N-shaped magnet and a U-shaped magnet. And the N-shaped magnet has the north pole in here and the south pole in here. If you were to bring the north pole close to the north pole of this magnet over here, they are going to repel each other. Okay? If you were to bring the south pole close to the north pole in here, they are going to attract each other. So it's important for you to notate that. So north versus north, there will be a repulsion. They are going to go apart like that. South and south, there will be a repulsion as well. They're going to go apart. But if you were to have like north and south, there is going to be an attraction. If you were to have south and north, there is going to be an attraction as well. All right. So quick little tips for you to know about magnetism. Like poles repel, unlike poles attract each other. All right. So did you get that? So please go ahead and try to turn to page number 33, and you are going to see a little exercise over there to help you to retain this content a little bit better. I want to thank you, boys and girls, for joining me today. Remember, God cares about you, and so do we. Bye-bye.
I'll be your hero's buddy, and as you study with heroes born, I will be your friend.